how am I doing so far? Okay. Quote today. Interesting. Do you know what I've experienced? I'm hoping I'm not the only one. We're going to talk about fear. And, how do you really know you're afraid of something when you haven't tried it? You don't really. And we quite often will surprise ourselves when we get coached into it or finally say, I have to do this. Then we go, well, that wasn't that bad. And I've had that moment lots. More so as a young mom, because I had these three little people looking at me, and I knew very early in the game having, like for instance, my biggest fear was water. I was really afraid of water, and I couldn't swim. I didn't learn to swim until I was 18 years old. And so I missed out on a lot of fun. And of course, not many people in those days had pools. We went to the lake and we swam, and I always wanted to participate, but I was always very afraid I would get pushed in the water because I hadn't really declared that I could not swim. So once I started having my children, I didn't want them to have those same fears as I did. So I would be very brave. I never shared my fear with them, and I would absolutely cringe to have to do something in front of them that applied to water, but I was going to do it come hell or high water. And the other thing too, as I made sure that their bath times were fun and enjoyable, and tried to relate to all the things that may make them uncomfortable, that might turn them off. So sometimes we, fears that we have as adults, we give them to our children if we allow ourselves to act out on that fear. So that's when you have to pull up your socks and say, you know what, I don't want them, it's kind of history repeating itself. So be strong and do it. And then once, you do, you go, oh, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I still have my preferences about water. Like I'd rather be on the, a great big huge flagship going somewhere than sitting in your 15-foot little aluminum boat out in the salt chuck. No. So I still have preferences. I'd rather swim in a pool than out in a lake, but yes, that's okay. I have conquered my fear. Same thing about going to the dentist. Those who know you, who know me, sorry. That's kind of funny, right? Very fearful. And, but yeah, I had to try to be brave, but you know what? That's still a huge fear for me, especially now that I have my own personal dentist not working. So anyway, you know what? Let's face our fears, and it's amazing how proud you can be of yourself when you say, I did it. I overcame that. Maybe I didn't overcome it, but I did it. And so that'll make it a little easier the next time. Now, who gave us a really awesome quote about fear? Okay, it's a woman, very, very powerful woman, I'm going to say, woman that I would have loved to have hung out with. And she had, I didn't count how many children, but I tell you what I can tell you about it. You might not know what you meant. She married her cousin. Now, he was her fifth cousin, so that's pretty well removed, once removed, actually. And so she didn't have to change her name when she got married. So anybody guessing who it is? Okay, and her legacy is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which I'm going to read a quote about that from her as well. So I'm kind of going to give you two today, because I just think it's really important, especially nowadays, what we're dealing with right now. And it's kind of like the shoe fits, why don't you wear it? Because I think it's really going to apply to a few people that we know, that we see and hear about often. Anyway, her quote, which I love, because I think it is all about all of these things. You gain strength, courage, and confidence in every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You must do the thing you think you cannot do. I love it. I'm doing YouTube. I was terrified. I'm going to learn all this stuff. I don't know how to do it. I'm putting myself out there. I'm exposing myself to the world or whoever's going to watch. Do you know what? Doesn't really bother me anymore. I still am who I am. Everybody's going to have an opinion. And you're entitled to it. Awesome. Okay, so pretty cool. Who is she? Who is she, you guys? Okay, I gave you a hint. Now I got to read this because I did put this on my iPad. Okay, so there's a really famous picture of her here, and it's United for Human Rights. Freedom makes a huge requirement of every human being. With freedom comes responsibility. For the person who is unwilling to grow up, the person who does not want to carry his own weight, this is a frightening prospect. I'm not going to mention any names, but you know what? Wow. I think we all can find a few people that may apply to. Anyway, you guys, this fabulous woman, pardon me, and we all know what she did for her husband. I truly believe that, she was more, the saying of like behind every successful woman is or a man is a really strong woman. Well, she was, I think, the pillar for her husband. She was married to a president of the United States. He was the 26th president. She didn't have to, I think I told you, she didn't have to change her name when she married him. And her name is, I didn't really have to look at that to tell you guys her name. I know who it is. Eleanor Roosevelt. Wow. Do you know what? There is so much cool stuff about her, and lots of people have their opinions, and we're all entitled to our opinions. I would really encourage every woman, I don't care how old you are, if you're 20 years old, 25, 40, 50, 60, or like me, 69 really soon, you need to pick up one of her books or download it onto one of your readers or something. She was a really interesting woman and very, very, she was way ahead of her time as far as I'm concerned. So you guys pick it up. Thanks for checking in. This was 7 minutes and 31 seconds, you guys. I apologize. See you tomorrow.